Lane Frost and JB Mauney, two names that send shivers down the spine of bull riding fans, two icons who represent everything gutsy, reckless, and downright legendary about strapping yourself to a 1,500-pound pissed-off animal with nothing but a rope and a prayer. They never competed in the same era, but what if they had? What if Lane's calculated precision met JB's fearless, borderline reckless aggression in the arena? Before we start, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video. Comment below and let me know who's your favorite bull rider. The insanity of it all. Here's the deal. You get on the back of a massive half-ton beast bred for one thing, throwing you off like yesterday's bad choice. The rules? Stay on for at least 8 seconds using just one hand. Touch the bull, your gear, or yourself with the free hand? Bam! Disqualified. Seems fair, considering the bull isn't exactly thrilled about this whole situation either. The ridiculous scoring system. Apparently, clinging on to dear life isn't just enough. Nope, bull riders get judged on how graceful they are while being thrown around like a rag doll. There are 4 judges, 2 for the rider and 2 for the bull. Each can give up to 25 points, meaning the max score is 100. Let that sink in. The bull gets scored too, because obviously this isn't just about human bravery, but also bovine athleticism. A bull that throws a rider with a combination of acrobatics and pure chaos earns a higher score. If the bull's lazy or just not feeling it that day, the rider might get a do-over. Lucky them? Or care that it's competing. Born to ride, destined to win. First, let's break down the legendary Lane Frost. Born in 1963 in Colorado and raised in the rodeo trenches, this guy was basically bred to ride. His dad was a bronc rider, and his mentor was equally legendary Freckles Brown. By the time Lane was 10, he was already stacking up trophies in junior rodeos. His rise wasn't some slow burn underdog story. It was meteoric. By the time he hit the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association circuit full-time in 1982, everyone knew this kid was different. His technique? Flawless. His ability to read a bull's every twitch? Unmatched. The Gold Buckle Flex. By 1984, he was already qualifying for the National Finals Rodeo. By 1986, he was snagging titles like they were free candy. And in 1987, world champion. Just 24 years old and already at the top of the game. But the real moment that cemented his status wasn't even a championship. It was the 1988 Challenge of the Champions against the untouchable Red Rock, a beast of a bull who had thrown every single cowboy who dared climb onto his back. 309 attempts, 309 failures. Then Lane showed up and rode him not once, not twice, but 4 out of 7 matchups. That wasn't just skill, that was sheer, stubborn willpower. Heavy is the trophy that wears the crown. Then came 1989, Cheyenne Frontier Days, one of the biggest rodeos in the world. He sticks an 83-point ride on taking care of business, dismounts clean, and then the bull comes back around, slams into him, and crushes him in the ribs. A few minutes later, he's gone. Just 25 years old, and one of the brightest flames in bull riding history was snuffed out way too soon. The Dragon Slayer rises. Now enter JB Mauney, a whole different breed of cowboy. Born in 1987 in Charlotte, North Carolina, far from the traditional cowboy breeding grounds, Mauney didn't grow up in a hardcore rodeo family like Frost. Nope, this guy made himself. Started on sheep as a toddler, graduated to bulls by 13, and decided early on he didn't just want to ride bulls. He wanted to ride the meanest, nastiest, most unrideable bulls in existence. His passion for the sport wasn't inherited. It was built from sheer grit, determination, and an unbreakable will to dominate the toughest competition on earth. From an early age, Mauney showed signs of fearlessness. He wasn't content with just staying on. He wanted to prove that he could outlast any beast that tried to buck him off. While other kids were learning the basics of horsemanship, Mauney was throwing himself into situations that would terrify even seasoned riders. He studied the greats, watched hours of footage, and constantly tweaked his riding style to adapt to every challenge. If a bull had a reputation for being untouchable, that's the one he wanted to climb on. His mentality was simple. If it hadn't been done, he'd be the first to do it. $1 million to sweeten the deal. When he turned pro in 2005, joining the Professional Bull Riders PBR circuit, he didn't just enter the sport, he kicked the door down. Rookie of the Year in 2006, and from then on, he was a one-man wrecking crew. By 2013, he was a PBR world champion, and he did it again in 2015. The man wasn't just talented, he was borderline insane. He didn't just pick the hardest bulls, he actively sought out the ones with reputations for destroying careers. Take Bushwhacker, for example, the monster that bucked off 42 straight riders. Mauney, he tamed him in 2013, proving that no matter how many times he got thrown, trampled, or broken, he was getting back up. His battle with Bushwhacker wasn't just another ride, it was a moment that cemented his legacy. He didn't approach it with hesitation or nerves. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to do what no one else could. He studied Bushwhacker's movements, analyzed his tendencies, and when the gate swung open, he executed a flawless ride that sent shockwaves through the sport. That ride wasn't just about 8 seconds. It was about proving that even the most invincible bulls could be conquered with the right mix of skill, fearlessness, and sheer willpower. Mauney's riding style was unlike anyone else's. He didn't just rely on technique. He rode with a reckless abandon that left fans in awe and fellow riders shaking their heads. He was willing to put his body on the line for the chance to conquer bulls that others avoided at all costs. Injuries? They were just part of the job. Broken bones, torn ligaments, concussions, nothing slowed him down. Time and time again, he pushed through pain that would have ended other careers. He wasn't just tough, he was relentless. Over the years, he built a reputation as the guy who never backed down. Whether it was a championship ride or a meaningless event, he gave it everything he had. Fans loved him for it. He wasn't just another cowboy chasing prize money, he was chasing history. And he wasn't content with just being great, he wanted to be the greatest. His dedication to the sport was unmatched. While others trained, he obsessed. He spent hours reviewing footage, tweaking his approach, and preparing for every possible scenario. His mental game was just as strong as his physical ability. He didn't believe in luck, he believed in preparation, and when the moment came, he delivered. Tougher than the bulls themselves. JB didn't wait for the perfect bull, he made any bull the perfect ride. When he hit the dirt, he didn't stay down, he got up faster than the wreck could catch him. He didn't talk much about pain because pain was just another thing to conquer. His grip was iron, his will was steel, and his heart was something even tougher. He rode like he had something to prove, and every time he nodded, he proved it again. If a bull threw him, it only made him mad, and a mad JB was a dangerous one. He didn't ride for show, for cameras, or for fame. He rode because it was the only thing that made sense. Sweat, grit, and sheer force of will were his weapons, and he used them like a man with nothing to lose. He didn't ask for luck, he made his own, 1 8-second fight at a time. Bulls bucked, bulls twisted, and bulls came for blood. But JB never gave him an inch. The Clash of the Titans. Now, let's get to the real question. If these two titans somehow went head-to-head, who would win? It's a tough call. Lane had the brains, the finesse, and a deep understanding of how to counteract a bull's moves. JB had raw guts, an iron will, and a reckless streak that meant he didn't care what the bull was doing. He was going to hold on no matter what. If they were both in their prime with the same set of bulls, it would have been a war. Who wears the crown? Would Frost's technical mastery have given him the edge? Maybe. He knew how to anticipate a bull's next move and stay balanced even when the ride got chaotic. Would Mauney's fearless take-no-prisoners attitude have overwhelmed Lane's strategy? Possibly. JB had the kind of indestructible mentality that made it nearly impossible to shake his confidence no matter how bad things got. The money behind the madness. For those who survive long enough to build a career, the cash flow can be pretty sweet. PBR alone deals out more than $10 million annually, with the season's best taking home a cool $1 million bonus, plus a shiny championship belt buckle because, apparently, nothing says champion like oversized cowboy jewelry. And that's just the winning. There are sponsorships, merchandise sales, and event appearances. The biggest names in bull riding don't just make money off their skills, they turn into their brand into a gold mine. Companies love slapping their logos on a cowboy who gets flung through the air with style. Bull riding goes global. Americans may have kickstarted this madness, but other countries have jumped on board. Brazil, for instance, treats bull riders like rock stars, and their athletes dominate the international scene. Australians, Canadians, and Mexicans are also in the game, bringing their own flair to the mix. This worldwide expansion means more competition, new riding techniques, and of course, more cash. Where there's money to be made, people will show up. Broadcasting deals, international sponsorships, and bigger arenas mean bull riding isn't just an American spectacle anymore. It's a global sensation. The danger factor in animal welfare. Let's be real, bull riding is stupidly dangerous. Broken bones, concussions, and life-altering injuries are the norm. Riders wear helmets and padded vests now, but those do about as much as a band-aid on a gunshot wound when you're up against a 1,500-pound animal with a bad attitude. And then there's the question of the bulls themselves. Contrary to what critics might think, these animals are treated like royalty, at least financially speaking. They are prized investments, and no one wants a top-performing bull getting hurt. Strict rules ensure they're cared for, but let's not pretend they signed up for this gig. So, who truly deserves the crown, Lane Frost or JB Mauney? Does technical mastery triumph over sheer fearlessness? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like this post, and don't forget to subscribe for more.